So even though the Batman Part 2 has been delayed till 2027, Matt Reeves, the director of that movie, has actually been going out and about and kind of speaking his mind on a couple of different things. Again, he did recently just confirm the Batman Part 2 will still be filming in 2025, but he's been getting asked some interesting questions as of late, and one of which I wanted to talk about on the channel because I thought it was kind of interesting. He touched on it, but also a cool question by the reporter. So if anyone sees that reporter, tell him I'll give him a nice personalized hand job next time I see him. But they did actually talk to him about Ben Affleck's version of Batman, and he actually said, when I read it, Ben's script, I was like, oh, I get it. It was very James Bondian. It was filled with a lot of set pieces. It could have been a very exciting movie. Again, even though I personally love the Batman, and as you guys know, who've been watching the channel, the Batman is my all-time favorite Batman movie. I love it with all my heart and all my soul, and I love how Matt Reeves directs his movies. Again, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War of the Planet of the Apes are so goated, and of course the Batman is even extra goated. But a part of me does wonder, like, I sit here as a chunky fat kid who doesn't really do much with his day-to-day, and I sit here and wonder, what could have Ben Affleck's Batman really been about? Again, I'm going to be making a complete separate video on this matter, but to summarize a little bit of it up, just as a sneak peek for you guys for that video, we know the original plans was to have Ben Affleck actually direct it before Matt Reeves came in. Again, there was a script originally written by Ben Affleck, which could have been the James Bondish, version that Matt Reeves read. Again, a rewrite by Chris Terrio as well, which has had some interesting comparisons to things like the Arkham games and how they are. Again, the inspiration for it has been said that the biggest inspiration for the Batman was David Fincher's The Game. It has also been said that Ben Affleck took a lot of inspiration from Rocksteady's Batman Arkham video game series, notably Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham Origins, as well as elements from the comic titled Batman Death of the Family. So again, there's a lot of really interesting things here. First of all, we know the Arkham games and kind of the style of those games are very distinctive to it, and it's a very unique Gotham that everyone loves. It's so dark, but also bright and neon, if that makes any sense, especially some of the places in the game. But also, this Batman is a lot different to the Batmans we've had in film, where Robert Pattinson and Christian Bale have been typically lighter, slimmer, more, I want to say, fit and chiseled Batman is kind of the word that I'm trying to get at here, while the Arkham games have a very big, brute-like Batman that we know Ben Affleck's was as well. He's a very big Batman. I mean, we saw in those training shots, this dude was literally looking like freaking prime Arnie back in the day when he was on his special juice that didn't have, of course, a name. So I think that's what Ben Affleck's was also going to take from that, is his inspiration as a bigger Batman, a brute Batman, but also how Gotham was going to potentially look. We really didn't get to see much of in the DCEU as well. Like in the Batman, it felt like we got to see more of Gotham in that whole entire thing than really anything we saw too much of in the DCEU. Again, I'll be making a completely separate video to this, really going over the plot, because there's a lot of really interesting things I want to talk about. But just for this video, I want to talk about Matt Reeves' influence as well, because I think Ben Affleck obviously stepping down to direct the Batman probably wasn't a easy thing for him to do, but bringing in a guy like Matt Reeves, who not only is he a great director, but even his cinematography is so good. Again, he gets some cinematography from a bunch of different people. Specifically for this movie, originally with the Ben Affleck one, we see it's supposed to be by a guy named Robert Richardson. And Robert Richardson is just a really iconic cinematographer. Again, movies such as The Aviator, Django Uncharted, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you know, films that are done by Tarantino as well, he has worked on, and some of those films really do have a distinctive look to it. So if he was to stay on, how Matt Reeves would have gone with him and gone about their cinematography would have been interesting, because we know every film that Matt Reeves does is generally beautiful. It just looks so beautiful, so dark, but so vibrant, which, if you know what I talked about earlier, it's kind of how I feel like Arkham looks. You know, the Arkham games, they're dark, but there's a lot of vibrant parts to it. There's a lot of colorful parts to it that really make it stand out. And I think that's kind of what Ben Affleck's Batman could have ultimately been. So really, semi a missed opportunity here, but also the Batman is goated and it's still my favorite one. So in a perfect world, we could have had both, but you know what? World's not so perfect, is it? But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions on this all down below. What do you guys think a Ben Affleck Batman movie with Matt Reeves directing would have been like? Are you guys upset that we never got the opportunity to see it? All of the above. Again, I'd very much like to know. Subscribe to my sports channel, MLIRO/Long channels. Links will be in the description down below. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.